Wow. I keep moving spots that I record in. I just can't find that one spot that I do like with the best lighting. I need to get one of those fluorescent light things. Let's talk about what you came here for. So if you didn't know, Microsoft announced that Xbox One is gonna have backwards compatibility. To break it down, they said if you have Xbox Premium or Preview, what is Xbox Preview? I have no idea what that is. But if you have Xbox Preview, you can try it out right now. But if not, then it's going to be releasing in the winter season, and it said they're gonna have hundreds of games. All right, not all, hundreds. Now I talked about this whole subject in my Sony vs Microsoft E3 recap video, but you know, it was pretty lengthy, so you might not have made it to that part, or you might not have watched it at all. But in that video, I was talking about how people are going crazy, that people are getting mad that Sony is not responding with also doing backwards compatibility. Now, first off, there's the most people that are mad about this or angry are like the neutral people, like PC people who don't really care that much, but they just think that it's dumb that Sony's not responding with that. So a guy named Review Tech USA, you probably have heard of him on YouTube. He's a lot of subscribers. He made a video talking about this, and he was getting angry as hell about how because the Polygon had an interview with Shuhei Yoshida. I don't know how to say his name. They had an interview with him, and they're talking about how he said we're not doing this right now. We're not saying never, but we're not doing this. He was saying that he thinks that just because Sony's up there, that's why he thinks they don't need to do that. But first off, not that many people even care on the side of Sony. All right, so on his video, if you look on his video, a bunch of comments are saying that they don't even really care that, you know, that it doesn't have backwards compatibility. It's all about, if you wanted to play last gen games, you have your PS3 or a 360 to play your last gen games. Whenever I made the switch from PS3 to PS4, I sold my PS3 because guess what? I didn't play anything on it. All right, I just was fed up with that gen. I wanted some new stuff, some stuff I've never seen before. That's why I got my PS4 and I made the switch. The only game I want to play backwards is All-Stars, but I have my Vita for that, so I don't even need it. You know, I don't even like All-Stars, but it's just so fun and addicting that I just sometimes want to just play it a little bit, but just for a little bit. Then I gotta get off before I gain cancer. So, you know, if you bought a PS4, you were ready. I mean, most likely, if you bought a PS4 and you sold your PS3, you were most likely ready to make the switch to next gen. If you weren't ready and you sold your PS3 and now you want backwards compatibility, that's your fault. If you want to play last gen games, play it on a last gen console. And also another thing is that Xbox 360's hardware is a lot easier to, you know, to emulate, because that's what Xbox is doing. They're emulating the F360 on the Xbox One. So Xbox One is so much, or Xbox 360 is so much easier to emulate, while PS3's hardware is completely different from PS4's. So it would be so much harder and it would just be wasting so much money. So really, there really isn't a reason to do this. And then so sometimes they think that the Sony's not doing it just because they're ahead. Well, that is why, because alright, this is how I see it. Xbox is below, and something like that, I mean, yes, that's pretty big, and that does show, that makes people who have 360s make the switch to one, because now I can play this gen games on my one, because you know, there might not be too much out right now that would make you make the switch to next gen, and so that's why Xbox is doing that. But see, the only people that they're capturing are their you know, current customers. All right, if I buy an Xbox One, I don't want to play 360 games. No. Since Xbox is below Sony right now, the whole reason that they did that, you know, in their mindset, like, oh, we gotta do something, we gotta get more people to buy Xbox Ones. Let's start with our own fan base we already have, you know. So That's why they did that. All right, Sony is above. They don't need that. But basically, if you had a PS3, most likely you have a PS4, or you plan to get one at some point. You know, there's probably a game that was announced that you're waiting for. That's when you'll decide to get a PS4, or you're just waiting to get some money. You know, maybe you're poor, you're struggling out in this freaking country. So now that Sony's ahead, it's like they don't need to mess with that. All right, they're looking into the future. All right, Sony is looking ahead. All right, they're trying to grow, expand, future. They're looking towards the future, while Xbox is still right here focusing on last gen. Like, dude, throw it away. That's the whole reason why I don't think they need to mess with that. I don't, of course, I might sound biased because it's more of I don't care about last gen, maybe because there's nothing that really excited me that I want to play at this point. But even if I wasn't biased, I feel like I would still be on this side, mainly because if I wanted to keep playing last gen, I would not have sold my PS3, or yeah, because I would have went into this new gen knowing, okay, I can't play my PS3 games, you know. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna keep my PS3 because I had enough money to buy a PS4 without selling it and getting money, you know. But I just thought, you know, why don't I just make it cheaper on myself? I don't even use it. I went to college for the first semester and I left my PS3 at home. I didn't even bring it because I would not have played it, you know. So that's just how I see it, man. I just don't think that Sony should mess with that because they're trying to look towards the future. Instead of wasting money on trying to get this backwards compatibility, which I mentioned that it is harder than Microsoft's doing it, instead of wasting money on that, they're just going to put in money on something that will make, you know, push them towards better future games, getting new IPs that are exclusive to the system, you know. That's what they're going to focus on, not going to focus on last gen, alright? This is the next generation. Why should you be focusing on last gen? This is all, you know, business, man. Yes, some people, but see, it's another thing. Some people want it, but it's probably a small amount, alright? It's definitely not as big as you might think, alright? There might be like, out of like the 20 million PS4s sold, let's say like 100,000 are the ones, you know, people that want backwards compatibility. Those niggas gotta chill. But yeah, I just really thought I should put in my 2 cents in this whole topic because I see a lot of people talking about it. Even Sony fans are some people they don't even care that much for the next gen. They're just mad that Sony isn't gonna do it, you know. And you can't be mad at that because come on, dude. That's the past. This is the present, and that's the future.